Librarian and Library Assistant Recognition Luncheon. Last week we had a proclamation, National Library Week proclamation, and campuses celebrated National Library Week at each of their campuses, and they had activities. But here today, we are here to celebrate our very hardworking librarians and their assistants for everything that they do for our students. So let's give them a round of applause. My sincere appreciation and thank you goes to Mr. Guillermo, Pro-Principal of Martin High School, Ms. Deborah Garza Garcia, Librarian, Ms. Sunshine Garcia, Library Assistant, Mr. Juan Lucio, Library Assistant, and support staff for helping out in hosting this event. There's a program at your table. I would like for you to acknowledge it. We have acknowledged businesses and individuals for helping out and making this event possible. Not listed in the program is Aqua Express Auto Wash and Mare Moto Sushi. So thank you all businesses and individuals for helping out. I'd like to acknowledge some special guests with us. Our superintendent, Dr. Silvia Rios. Mr. Oscar Perez, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction and Assessment. Ms. Mirtala Ramirez, Elementary Education Director. And we have several of our CIA family. Please stand up to be acknowledged. I don't want to forget anyone. And of course, our administrators, our campus administrators, please stand up. Thank you for supporting the library and your librarians and library assistants. I know that it's a very hectic week because of STAR, and I really appreciate your attendance here because I know that everyone is so busy. And Student Services, we also have somebody, individuals from Student Services, please stand up. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to start with the invocation that will be read by Ms. Deborah Garza Garcia, Martin High School Librarian. If you could all please stand up. Let me just say the national. Okay, please. Followed by the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance will be recited by Juan Perez, Martin High Library Club member. The national anthem will be performed by Marjorie D. Sandoval, Martin High School 10th grader band student under the direction of Mr. Roberto Castro, Martin High band director.
Prayer for the Laredo ISD libraries. We offer prayers this day for our libraries, for all who work to bring them into being, for the support of the community of Laredo, Webb County, and Texas, for the committed, ever-welcoming, and helpful librarians and staff, for all those who will use its resources, for children of all ages who find it a place to dream and wonder, for those who find it a place of refuge and support in their daily lives, for the connections it provides between the history and cultures of the world through books, magazines, and the internet, in the sharing of our stories, the stories of our community, and the stories of the world beyond our experience. May it be a place for the enlightenment of our minds and kindling of our imaginations. May it be a safe place of gathering in the midst of our community where all are welcome, where our diversity is honored and respect is practiced. May we become not only knowledgeable, but also wise. May the Laredo ISD libraries be a place of blessing in our community. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
you. You may be seated. Dr. Rios now has a couple of words that she would like to share with us.
Thank you. Whoa. Good morning, everyone. Well, it's such a beautiful day today because today we not only recognize our very hardworking librarians and their assistants, but we also celebrate the wanting to learn, the desire to come into a beautiful place that just opens so many worlds. Libraries are like little treasure chests. You open the treasure chest and you pick out some kind of jewel, and that jewel stays with you in one way or another. Maybe it'll glitter in one direction and then it'll glitter in another direction, but there's always something new to find in that chest. And I would like to applaud each and every one of our librarians for opening that chest and giving all of our students an opportunity to become part of, at many times, to become part of another world. I really loved your prayer. Where's Miss Sandoval? The librarian.
Garcia.
I love your prayer because it really talks about all the great things that happen in schools. And you guys are part, and ladies and gentlemen, I should say, I mean guys generically, but I'm saying all of you are part of that dream. You create dreams. You make dreams come true. And sometimes this place is a place of refuge. It is. Growing up, I remember going to the library because it was a nice, quiet place. And you could be anything that you wanted to be. You could aspire to go anywhere in the world without actually taking a step outside that door. You make those things possible. And so I'm very happy and very proud of Ms. Bice, as well as everyone who took part in creating this opportunity to recognize you. You are so special, and maybe I'm saying this because I'm an ELA person, but you are just so special. You've been special to me in the forms of so many librarians that I've known throughout the years, but you're special to every child to whom you reach out and you invite into your library. When I walk into a library, the first thing I do is I look at the walls and I start thinking, is this a place where kids want to come to? Is this a place where they want to open up a new universe? Is this a place where they feel comfortable? And you do that. So with that thought in mind, I also want to thank our library club. I'm so honored and pleased that you guys are part of this effort. Our literacy project and the Student Advisory Council is another opportunity to get students to understand and to really appreciate the love of reading. When I see young people like you, and I just spoke to a young lady a while ago, and she says, I'm in library and I'm in band, and congratulations band for another sweepstakes. So she had to change from her band stuff and get into her t-shirt for library club. How awesome is that? You all are true models of what we want our students to be and where we want to go. But more importantly, you are the next leaders of the generation to come. And so with the help of every single librarian, library assistant, and every administrator here and back at your campuses, we are one team. We have a very important week this week. And with all my heart, I want to thank you for all of the preparation that you have done up to this point. It is important to think about the future, but the future is part of the past and it is part of the present. We are weaving the future, and you weave it through the books that you share with your students. So once more, I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for your wonderful efforts, and I challenge you to continue to make libraries the place where kids want to be, not just one day, but every day that they attend our schools. Thank you, and God bless. Now, there's another set of students that we cannot ever leave out, because they are the models of customer service. They are the models of being a welcoming force in our schools. And in this particular instance, I would like to recognize the culinary arts. Where are you guys? And their teacher, as well as their principal. You know, whenever we go to a house, what is it that we expect to see? We want to smell something good in the house, right? Besides the sprays, you want that good food and that lovely, welcoming, invitation to sit down at the kitchen and enjoy something that's tradition and something maybe that's new. Just like the library club, culinary arts, you make Martin High School a very welcoming place, and we do want to thank everyone who makes this school, this particular building, this particular opportunity, this particular celebration even more magnificent. So thank you so much, and I wish all of you the best this week. Continue to work hard, because when we work hard, we're working for our students, we're working for our schools, and more than importantly, we are working for one beautiful, radiant LISD. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rios, and thank you so much for always supporting the Library Services Department. So next in our program, we are going to recognize the Librarian of the Year. We do that every year. We recognize one librarian. All of our librarians and library assistants are very dedicated, hardworking, helpful, and I mean, there's so many words to describe you all, and I appreciate everything that you do on a daily basis. But unfortunately, we can only recognize one. So, will the principal of the Librarian of the Year please come forward?
So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thank all our librarians in here for such a phenomenal job that they do throughout the years for our student population. Ms. Trevino has certainly been a great asset to our school. She has been involved in many endeavors, always looking for that initiative to try to move our school forward in the positive direction. She's always coming with many innovative ways of how to improve our school. And so she comes to me one day, she says, Mr. Perez, I figured it out, Okay, so tell me what you got. And after she tells me, okay, so make it work. And so that's part of our conversation, basically on a weekly basis. But again, I mean, she's done a phenomenal job at her school. Always looking for different ways of how to become that valuable resource in everything that we do. So she does about everything and anything, and she does it with precision and perfection. I know that in becoming a librarian, of course, it realized one of her lifetime goals. The passion for literacy has been her ongoing catalyst. Her experiences, travels, studies to underprivileged children have enabled Ms. Trevino to make a monumental difference in not only their lives, but in the lives of the parents, community members. Her goal as a librarian has been to encourage and instill the love of reading through various lessons, activities, and events that are held throughout the library, throughout the campus, and our community. Ms. Trevino is an integral part of the administration and staff at Santo Niño Elementary. She assists our teachers in planning, creating thematic lessons that provide students with interesting ways of adapting reading and literature into their daily lives. But really, at this point, I would like to publicly thank Ms. Trevino for everything that she does for our student population.
Ms. Trevino, can you please come forward to be recognized? more recognitions. At this time, we're going to recognize the elementary, middle, and high schools with the most circulated books. So at the elementary level, Heights Elementary, please come forward.
Congratulations.
At the middle school, Memorial Middle School.
Hi, Party. Congratulations. Keep her under here. She's supposed to. Oh, okay. Party, okay, es el tuyo. Ahí. Yes. Congratulations. Do we all stay over here for a good picture?
And the top high school is Martin High School.
Yes, yes. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. So happy
Congratulations. Here's your certificate.
Congratulations, Mr. Nye.
And congratulations.
For you, sir.
Pásenle acá.
Congratulations, Mr. Lucio. Yes, sir.
Does she want us over there or no? Do we go over there or no? Okay, good. Okay, then we're doing the family reading night, so stay up here. And then Ms. Dr. Lee is going to join us to recognize every one of them. You ask him? You ask
I'll hold that for you.
Okay. It's a surprise.
Oh.
Okay, now we're going to recognize the 3 top schools that had most attendance for family reading night. We're going to start with the elementary, and that is Ligarde Elementary.
Oh, you got it. Oh, the change. Congratulations, congratulations. Line up for a picture. Them in the middle. You want to go to the side?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations, ma'am. In the middle.
The top middle school is Memorial Middle School.
Congratulations. Hard work pays off.
Yeah, very well deserved.
Congratulations.
Middle right here.
And last but certainly not least, Martin High School.
I'll get on this side.
There you go.
Okay, so they go.
This side.
Is this an extra one? Okay, so now we're going to recognize all of them.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want this one? Okay.
You start with the elementary.
Yes. So, we're gonna call them up, yes, but they'll come up and then they'll go that way. So should we?
Shake their hand.
Yeah, you'll just shake their hand and then they'll go this way, okay? Ready?
Okay, so now we're going to recognize all the librarians and their assistants. So when I call your name, please come up. Starting with Bruni Elementary, Librarian Guadalupe Ana Garcia, and not here with us, but in spirit, Miss Patricia Montoya.
Blanca, you know what? Bring it over here for them. Yes.
Okay, for library.
Next, we have Don Jose Gallego, Librarian Yvette Maldonado, and her assistant Ingrid Almendares. Ms. Garcia? For your assistant. I know. Let me have somebody help you. Brenda, can you help Blanca? She'll give them to you, and then you all bring them over, so we can go faster. Dikey's Librarian and Library Assistant, Librarian Griselda Manrique, and Assistant Cindy Agüero. Dovalina Librarian, Betty Herina, and Marta P. Garcia, Library Assistant. Farias Elementary, San Juanita Reyes Librarian, and Veronica Gaona, Library Assistant. Didi Achar, Librarian Carla Izaguirre, and Assistant Sandra Trevino.
Congratulations. Hi, how are you? Congratulations. Hi.
Heights Elementary, Adriana Villarreal, a Librarian, and Alejandra Verino, Library Assistant. Caguas Elementary, Ms. Magdalena Bazan, Librarian, and Elizabeth Morales, Library Assistant. Line Decker Elementary, Mrs. Raquel Sanchez, Librarian, and Ms. Rosa M. Carrillo, Library Assistant.
Hi. Congratulations. Good job. Hi. Congratulations.
Ligarde Elementary, Mrs. Julie Gonzalez and Maria G. Hinojosa, Library Assistant.
Hi. Congratulations. Good job.
McDonald Elementary, Miss Cecilia Hodges, Librarian, and Ms. Carmen Baca and Rosa Flores, Library Assistant.
You're beautiful. Congratulations.
J.C. Martin Elementary, Miss Cynthia Hernandez and Miss Nelly Toledo, Library Assistant.
You're Catholic, right? Congratulations. Hi, congratulations. Congratulations.
Will you take, yes, I'll take Miss Rosa Flores?
Hi, how are you?
Milton, Mrs. Ana Laura Garza, Librarian, and Miss Mary Hernandez, Library Assistant. Not here, but in spirit.
Hi, how are you? Good. Hi, congratulations.
Alma Pierce Elementary, Mrs. Laura Chapa, Librarian, and Mr. Juan Flores, Library Assistant.
Congratulations, sir. Congratulations.
Bryan Elementary, Mrs. Thelma Castro, Librarian, and Mrs. Terry Mesa, Library Assistant. Sanchez Ochoa Elementary, Mrs. Ana Teresa Garcia, Librarian, and Mrs. Guadalupe Talamantes, Library Assistant. Santa Maria Elementary, Mrs. Elizabeth Salinas, Librarian, and Mrs. Francis Torres, Library Assistant. Santo Niño Elementary, Librarian of the Year, Irema Treviño, and Ms. Olga Garcia, Library Assistant.
Congratulations.
Sorry, I can move it this way.
Okay, for you.
Tarver Elementary, not with us today, Mrs. Yolanda Dobsoff, Librarian, and the Assistant, Ms. Edith Nuño.
Congratulations. Are you on? Hi, how are you? Good, good. Hold on. This is yours.
That's, and that one else. She can take it to the library.
Zachary Elementary, Mrs. Veronica Costilla, Librarian, and Ms. Norma Mireles, Library Assistant.
Take the tables closer.
Yes.
We'll continue with middle school.
Congratulations.
Ciarroa Middle School, Ana Laura Santos, Librarian, and Mrs. Guillermina Sanchez, Library Assistant.
Hi.
Kristen Middle School, Mrs. Gloria Saldivar, and Librarian, and Irma Mante, Library Assistant. Lamar Middle School, Mrs. Vanessa Nunez, and Amelia de la Rosa, Library Assistant.
Hi. How are you? Hi. How are you? Congratulations.
Memorial Middle School, Mrs. Norma Gonzalez, Librarian, and Ms. Bartola Garcia, Library Assistant.
That's a lot of work. That's very pretty. Congratulations, Rita.
Continuing with the high school, Ciarroa High School, Mrs. Marilyn Monsiváis, Librarian, and Assistants Jesus Ballesteros, Flora Lara, Anita Hernandez. Martin High School, Mrs. Deborah Garza Garcia, Librarian, Sunshine Garcia, Library Assistant, and Juan Lucio, Library Assistant.
That one, they have it. Oh, they're for the three.
The one on top. You can take it. Okay. Hey, guys. Congratulations.
Yes, you know your initial.
It's in there.
If you have the wrong one, just switch.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's me.
Nixon High School, Mrs. Mary Prevost, librarian, Elena Trevino, assistant, and Michelle Gonzalez, assistant.
And then the other two are the assistants. Did Mr. Gloria come? Yes.
VMT Magnet School, Mr. George Gloria, library assistant. And last but certainly not least, Lara Academy, Mrs. Cristina Rodriguez, library clerk.
Yes, and now this is
BMT?
Lara.
Lara. Hi. Congratulations, ma'am.
This concludes the recognition of librarians and library assistants. Thank you so much for all that you do. I hope you like your little cariñito. It's a head start for next year's theme, which is Wild About Reading. So I'd just like to thank all of you for coming out this morning to recognize again our hardworking librarians and library assistants. I know that your schedules is extremely busy this week. I'd just like to recognize Renaissance Learning was our sponsor for our luncheon, and we will continue with our luncheon. The library, Martin High School Library Club will be bringing your meal to your table so you don't have to get up. And thank you to CMP. CMP was the individuals that prepared our meal today, which is a Mexican meal. Please enjoy the video that we're about to play. It is a slideshow created by our Librarian of the Year, Irema Trevino, and it is pictures from our family reading night. Enjoy your lunch, and thank you for being with us this morning. Thank you. Thank you, Blanca.